Namo Sakyamuni Buddha. Today is a big day for us. We have two of our members that take the 3 Refuges and 5 Precepts. It's the commitment because they've been here long. They understand Buddhism. They want to go a little bit further to commit themselves for the practice of Buddhism. When you get the commitment, you take the 3 Refuges, the 5 Precepts. That's the first step. You practice about 2 more years, and then you take the next step, the Bodhisattva vow. So advance more. The way to lead you to the advancement, and finally you go to the one vehicle, the Buddhahood, because Buddha say he is Buddha and we are the Buddha in the future. So when you set up your goal and you decide to become Buddha, you will be, okay? Because you know that that's only time. If you follow the solar or lunar calendar, you think it's very long, 100 years long, but you go to cosmic calendar, 100 years like even a nanosecond. The history of the earth, a few million years, it's only a few days of the first month of January in the cosmic calendar. So if you set up your goal, you set up your GPS, you won't go that way. You will become Buddha. All of us will become Buddha because our goal to get alignment, to find our true self, to find our true home. That's the way we go. So it's a matter of time. All of us, we become Buddha. We don't get the awakening. Buddha is an awakened person. That's the one who sees the truth. They'll see your true self and go back to your true home. That's our goal in life. So today, we celebrate for 2 of our members to become the true Buddhist practitioner. The other people, they study, but they didn't commit themselves yet. You need to have a commitment. In Buddhism, it's not coaction, it's not scare tactic. It's not promising you anything. You do it to yourself. Buddha teach you how to trust yourself, how to believe yourself. And you have your awakening nature. You have the intrinsic value. So nobody give you anything. You give it to yourself. Buddha is our good teacher, is our father. He loves us. He wants to guide us. He didn't promise you benediction or blessing. You bless yourself. You do everything yourself. It's a self-confidence, self-dependence, self-respect. And we all respect you. We practice mutual respect, mutual love, true love, unconditional love. That's the way we practice Buddhism. So, in the tradition, I'm the senior monk, and Master Quang is the continuation, is second generation of our temple here, our tradition, the Tien Dai lineage. I want to tell you a little bit more about Tien Dai lineage. Tien Dai lineage is the one we follow the teaching of the patriarchs, the one we bow in the back. He's a cheese patriarch. He used the Lotus Sutra. Lotus Sutra is one of the best sutra Buddha left behind to us. Near the end of his life, he teaches the Lotus Sutra. The nice thing about Lotus Sutra, and the Lotus Sutra had 28 chapters. In each chapter, Buddha tells us something. But the main thing is to get you, to guide you, to see your true nature, to believe that you have a true nature, your intrinsic value, your awakened nature. So that the Lotus Sutra, that the one really help us to understand our true nature. The other sutra, they are good too, but they go step by step. So the main one, the true one, to enlighten us is the Lotus Sutra. That's the one to define your true nature. That's the definition of our true nature. That's the Lotus Sutra. That's the reason why we follow the Tiandai lineage. It have meditation, it have chanting, it have studying of the Dharma. It's a comprehensive. The only thing, it doesn't require any condition to practice Buddhism. Doesn't have anything special to go in Buddhism. It open the door. Open the door, you see it. You see it, and then you search it. You see it. You open the door, see it, and you go in, and then you find it. You find it, and then you accept it. You uphold it, you accept it. That's the step by step of the Tiandai lineage. It's a very good school to help us to practice Buddhism. Okay? So now I let Master Quang to start it, because he's the one who will be your direct teacher to help you to take the 3 refuges and 5 precepts. I prepare everything for him, so he do the continuation, because I'm 84 already. Okay? Maybe I'll be with you a few more years, but doesn't matter. This tradition, this temple, keep going, keep developing. All of you is a Sangha. Okay? The Sangha, according to the Mahayana tradition, it open to everybody, all the practitioners. In the Hinayana or the Theravada, they only open to monastic, only men, only the monk. They don't accept nun or the lay people in the Sangha. In the Mahayana tradition, it's more open. All the practitioners, the good standing practitioners, belong to the Sangha. So all of you belong to Sangha, this temple. It's your temple. It's your common property. You maintain it, you develop it, and you keep for future generation. That your goal, okay? That your mission. Open, keep this temple, maintain this temple, and we go from generation to next. After me, Master Quang, after Master Quang, many more generations. I discussed with him yesterday. I said, Master Quang, you have to have in mind, you have a more student. The tradition now, you can have the layperson as the student, but to accept the monastic student, it takes you 10 more years. He get ordained last year. It takes him about 9 more years to have a full power, the full privilege. So he accept the monastic student to be his student, monk and nun. So we have tradition in this temple. We have more American monk and American nun to keep and to maintain this temple. He will do it. He will do that. Maybe I'll live 10 more years, or maybe more, maybe less. Doesn't matter. But as long as I live, I will help him and help all of you to develop a bit more temple. Make this temple better every day. It's your effort. It's our joint hand together to develop this temple. It's not my temple. It's not the nun temple. It's not Master Quang temple. It's temple everybody. And in the future, we have more monk and nun to come in to help this temple. So now, I let Master Quang doing the ceremony for the 3 refuges, 5 precepts for our 2 members.
Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Everyone would please turn to page 55 in the chant books and rise. We will start with this opening ceremony. Page 55. Inviting the bell. Body, speech, and mind in perfect oneness, I send my heart along with the sound of the. May the hearers awaken from forgetfulness and transcend all anxiety and sorrow. Listen, listen, this wonderful sound brings me back to my true home. In gratitude we offer this incense to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas throughout space, and may it be fragrant as earth herself, reflecting our careful efforts, our wholehearted mindfulness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. The incense in the censer now is burning, all the dharma realm in every place, auspicious clouds appearing, our sincere intention thus fulfilling, as all Buddhas now show their perfect body. Homage to the incense cloud canopy, Bodhisattva and great Bodhisattvas. Verses for bowing, we'll bow together. Homage to the eternally abiding Buddhas, the supreme Dharma and sagely Sangha throughout the Dharma realm and the realm of empties, and 3 periods of time. Homage to the fundamental teacher Shakyamuni Buddha Maitreya, honored future Buddha Manjushri, great wisdom, Sattva universal, great conduct, Bodhisattva, all Dharma guarding Deva Bodhisattvas, and the glorious mountain assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Homage to Amitabha Buddha in the land of ultimate bliss, Avalokiteshvara, great compassion Bodhisattva, great strength Bodhisattva, earth sword, great vow Bodhisattva, and the assembly of great pure sea-like Bodhisattva. Please sit down. The Great Compassion Mantra. Namo Great Compassionate Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Namo Great Compassionate Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Namo Great Compassionate Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Namo Trayaya Namo Aryavaro Dharma body is bringing morning light and concentration. My heart is at peace, a half smile is born on mine. This is a new day and I vow to go through it in mindfulness. The sun of wisdom has risen, shining in every direction. Noble Sangha, diligently bring your mind into meditation. Namo Shakyamunaya Buddhaya. Namo Shakyamunaya Buddhaya. Namo Shakyamunaya Buddhaya. Heart of the Prajna Paramita. The Bodhisattva Avalokita while moving in the discourse of Prajna Paramita shed light on the five skandhas and found them equally empty. After this penetration he overcame ill-being. Listen, Shariputra, form is emptiness, emptiness. Form is not other than emptiness. Emptiness is not other than form. The same is true with feelings, perceptions, mental formations, and consciousness. Now, Putra, all dharmas are marked with emptiness. They are neither produced nor destroyed, neither defiled nor immaculate, neither increasing nor decreasing. Therefore, in emptiness there is neither form nor feelings, no perceptions, nor mental formation, nor consciousness, no eye or ear or nose or tongue or body or mind, no form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no touch, no object of, no realms of elements, no interdependent origins, and no extinction of them, no ill-being, no cause of ill-being, no end of ill-being, and no path, no understanding, no attainment, because there is no attainment. The Bodhisattvas ground in Prajna Paramita find no obstacles for their minds. They overcome fear, liberating themselves forever from illusion and realizing perfect nirvana. All Buddhas in the past, present, and future arrive at Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi. Therefore, one should that perfect understanding is the highest mantra, the unequaled mantra, the destroyer of ill-being, the incorruptible truth, the mantra of Prajna Paramita. Gate, gate, para, gate, para, sam, gate, bodhi, swaha, gate, gate, para, sam, gate, bodhi, swaha, gate, gate, para, sam, gate, bodhi, swaha. Namo Amitabhaya Tathagata Yata Amrito Bhavi Amrita Sirham Bhavi Amrita Vikti Amrita Vikranta Gamini Gagana Kirta Kare Swaha. Namo Amitabhaya Tathagata Yata Amrito Bhavi Amrita Sirham Bhavi Amrita Vikranti Amrita Vikranta Gamini Gagana Kirta Kare Swaha. Namo Amitabhaya Tathagata Yata Amrito Bhavi Venerables, please come to the table. And bow down 3 times. Please kneel. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. The sea of precepts has no shore, but if you drink 1 drop, you taste the flavor of the entire body of ocean water. The mountain of wisdom radiates everywhere. If you climb but 1 step up, its light will penetrate your entire body. Without direction from a sage, you will gaze at the ocean and heave a sigh. But if you meet a good knowing advisor, then you will find a transcending path to ascend. Today I transmit the 3 refuge and the 5 precepts. To request the Master, you should speak for yourself. You should all say your dharma name.
Venerable Master, please be mindful and consider me Chiman. As I now request the Venerable Master to be my triple refuge and 5 precepts master, I wish the Venerable Master will bestow the refuges and precepts as my primary master, because I trust the Venerable Master and hope to obtain the pure triple refuges and 5 precepts due to his great kindness.
Venerable Master, please be mindful, considerate, and wait none, as I now request the Venerable Master to be my triple refuge and 5 precept master. I wish the Venerable Master will bestow the refuge and precepts as my primary master, because I trust the Venerable Master and hope to obtain the pure triple refuges and 5 precepts due to the great kindness.
Good men and good women, because you have made your request with utmost sincerity, I will consent to be your primary teacher in transmitting the 3 refuge and the 5 precepts to you. Now that you have listened carefully and understood clearly, can you practice according to these teachings?
Yes, we can receive and uphold them according to the Dharma.
Good men and good women, since all of you have said you can receive and uphold according to the Dharma, you should first invite the triple jewels to descend to the Dharma assembly to certify and witness this auspicious ceremony. Then you should invite the myriad divine spirits to guard the way and protect the precepts.
With incense and flowers we greet, with incense and flowers we entreat. I, disciple Triman, and all earnestly and reverently request Shakyamuni Buddha, teaching host of the Saha world, Amitabha Buddha, who leads us to the land of ultimate bliss, Maitreya, Buddha of the future, and all Buddhas to the end of empty space. Please remember your fundamental vows. Gather and shine your lights of kindness to certify this act of taking the 3 refuges and 5 precepts. With incense and flowers we greet, with incense and flowers we entreat. I, disciple Chiman, and all earnestly request Mahayana and Theravada vehicles, the Vinaya treasury, the 5 categories and 3 collections, the Pratimoksha code of liberation, the 12 divisions of the scriptures, provisional and actual teachings, the profound Dharma jewels of leaving desire and true purity, heedful and wholehearted, we return to our lives in worship. With incense and flowers we greet, with incense and flowers we entreat. I, disciple Chiman, and all earnestly and reverently request Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva, great strength Bodhisattva, Manjushri Bodhisattva, universal worthy Bodhisattva, Earth Store Bodhisattva, and all great Bodhisattvas of the Pure Seed Vast Assembly. Bodhisattvas, please remember your fundamental vows. Gather and shine your light of kindness to certify this act of taking the 3 refuges and 5 precepts. With incense and flowers we greet, with incense and flowers we entreat. My disciple Chiman and all earnestly and reverently request the luminous assembly of gods in the transitory existence of the various heavens, Brahma, Chakra, the four celestial gods, Devas who guard the precepts. Please remember your fundamental vows, preside at this ceremony, and protect the taking of refuges and precepts.
Good men and good women, you have now invited and requested the triple jewels and the myriad spirits to come to certify, witness, guard, and protect this ceremony. Now they have bestowed kindness and descended, filling up all the dharma seats before all of you take the 3 refuge and the 5 precepts. You should first gather in with grief and sorrow, and with utmost earnestness repent all transgressions you have done in the past. When the 3 karmas are undefiled, then you qualify to take the 3 refuge and the 5 precepts. I will now speak the great Sutra Gathas for your sake. You should listen to what I say and contemplate the meanings and principles of the verses and the sutra in your mind. You should make the resolve and vow to repent the past mistakes and cultivate good merit in the future, and never again do any evils.
All the evil karma that I have made in the past because of the beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance by body, speech, and mind, in word and deed, I now repent of all entirely. All the evil karma that I have made in the past because of the beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance by body, speech, and mind, in word and deed, I now repent of all entirely. All the evil karma that I have made in the past because of the beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance by body, speech, and mind, in word and deed, I now repent of all entirely.
Good men and good women, after you have repented and reformed with utmost sincerity, your body and mind are pure, and your karmic offenses are destroyed and eradicated. I will first perform the 3 refuge on your behalf to invoke the precept substance.
I, disciple Chiman, to the end of my life, I vow to take refuge with the Buddha. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the Dharma. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the Sangha. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the precepts. I, disciple Chiman, to the end of my life, I vow to take refuge with the Buddha. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the Dharma. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the Sangha. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the precepts. I, disciple Chiman, to the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the Buddha. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the Dharma. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the Sangha. To the end of my life, I vow to take refuge in the precepts. I, disciple Chiman, have taken refuge with the Buddha. I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the heavenly demon Maheshwara, and so forth. I take refuge with the thus come one's most equal and right enlightenment. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, disciple Chiman, have taken refuge with the Buddha. I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the heavenly demon Maheshwara, and so forth. I take refuge with the thus come one's most true, equal, and right enlightenment. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, disciple Chiman, have taken refuge with the Buddha. I would rather give up my body and my life than ever take refuge with the heavenly demon Maheshwara, and so forth. I take refuge with the thus come one's most true, equal, and right enlightenment. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, disciple Chiman, have taken refuge with the Dharma. I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the scriptures and texts of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the 3 treasuries and the 12 divisions of all the scriptures spoken by the thus come one. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I have taken refuge with the Dharma. I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the scriptures and texts of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the 3 treasuries and the 12 divisions of all the scriptures spoken by the thus come one. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, Chiman, having taken refuge with the Dharma, I would rather give up my life than ever take refuge with the scriptures and texts of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the 3 treasuries and the 12 divisions of all the scriptures spoken by the thus come one. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, Chiman, am taking refuge with the Sangha. I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the improper assemblies of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the Sangha, the pure field of blessings. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, disciple Chiman, having taken refuge with the Sangha, I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the improper assemblies of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the Sangha, the pure field of blessings. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, having taken refuge with the Sangha, I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the proper assemblies of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the Sangha, the pure field of blessings. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion.
Disciple taking refuge with the
Precepts, I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the deviant precepts of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the pratimoksha spoken by the thus come one. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, disciple Triman, take refuge with precepts. I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the deviant precepts of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the pratimoksha spoken by the thus come one. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion. I, disciple Sriman, having taken refuge with the precepts, I would rather give up my body and life than ever take refuge with the deviant precepts of those outside of the way. I take refuge with the pratimoksha, spoken by the thus come one. I do this because of my world-honored one's great compassion.
I've already proclaimed the three refuge on your behalf. After you've obtained the 5 precept substance, I will again proclaim the names and forms of the 5 precepts for you, to let you recognize the form and protect the substance. It should pervasively condition all the states throughout the Dharma realm and resolve to bring forth the unsurpassed Bodhi mind. Receive and uphold each and every precept. Now you should answer my questions truthfully. First, from now until the end of your life, refraining from killing is the laity precept. Can you uphold this precept?
Yes, I can. Uphold it.
Secondly, from now until the end of your life, refraining from stealing is the laity precept. Can you uphold this precept?
Yes, I can uphold it.
Thirdly, from now until the end of your life, refraining from sexual misconduct is the laity precept. Can you uphold this precept?
Yes, I can uphold it.
Fourthly, from now until the end of your life, refraining from telling lies is the laity precept. Can you uphold this precept?
Yes, I can uphold it.
Fifthly, from now until the end of your life, refraining from taking intoxicants is the laity precept. Can you uphold this precept?
Yes, I can uphold it.
Please bow down 3 times. You may sit down. Today is an auspicious occasion, as our Venerable Teacher has mentioned. Today, 2 of our members become official members of the Sangha, of this temple, become official Buddhists as well. And for this glorious occasion, we give the name Subabi Triman. Triman is taken from my name, Quang, which means diligent wisdom. And Cynthia takes the name Huinang, which means capable wisdom. Hui, from like our temple folk Hui. These names are representations of the characteristics of these great 2 members. When we do precept ceremonies and we contemplate on their names, we don't give these names all willy-nilly. We don't just come up with random names for our students. These names are important aspects of their practice. And so typically sometimes the teacher will give the name either for something that the student should work on, or that we see that the student is capable of or able to do. So when Bobby and Cynthia came and requested to take the precepts and the 3 refuge, the first thing I think of are, what are their names going to be? And because we follow Vietnamese tradition, so that we take pieces of the Vietnamese names, right? So I always need help from our venerable teacher to translate what I want to Vietnamese for me. And so when I came up with an idea of what to name these two great disciple students, teacher also came up with names. And ironically, both our names that we chose were exactly the same. And so I told teacher that it's such an auspicious sign. I wanted Bobby to have a name with something that had to do with diligence and good practice. And then teacher came up with Chi Man. Man means diligence. So literally the same thing. And for Cynthia, I wanted something that had to do with doing or generosity. And because she's very handy. She's like our little handy woman around here. Anything we need help with, she's always on top of it. She's always trying to help maintain the temple. And so that spirit of giving, of willing to give without any return, she gets the name Hui Nan, capable wisdom. So both of these students today become part of the Sangha. And we've had a couple of discussions about what do the precepts really mean. Why take the precepts? Truly, you don't have to, right? It's a sentimental ritual, right? It's a bonding ritual. It's a self-promise to yourself. You're not here to promise to me, to promise the teacher, to promise to the Buddha, to the Bodhisattvas that you will obtain and uphold your precepts. No. You're here to take the precepts, to solidify those vows that you just took into your own practice, into your own life. So that way, not only outside of the temple are you practicing, not only outside of the temple are you a Buddhist, but you're a Buddhist and you're practicing all the time. And any waking moment is an opportunity to practice. And any waking moment is an opportunity to be mindful, to be generous, to be compassionate, to understand, to not judge, right? And so I hope that for those who have already taken precepts, those who are now taking precepts, and those who in the future will take precepts, will remember that these are your self-promises. And the three jewels, the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, are comparable to like the sun, to the rain, water, and to soil, to the earth. The Buddha is the teacher of the world. He is the sun that illuminates our practice. The rain is like the Dharma. It nourishes our practice. It nourishes our study and our diligence in what we do every day. The soil is like the Sangha. It fertilizes our practice. It helps us grow and maintain. So you're now surrounded by a whole Sangha of cultivators, right? We're all here to help each other grow and learn. You're surrounded by Dharma brothers and sisters that love you and respect you and will do anything to help you accomplish your spiritual goals. So even though we are born into families that we don't choose necessarily, but now you are in a family that you have chosen. And I hope that this family that you've chosen will be here for the rest of your life, and to know that we are here for your spiritual assistance, for your spiritual guidance and advice, and to help you develop that spirituality. And so we have to remember that the precepts form everything that's good, right? So the essential characteristic of these precepts is of non-violation, right? To not violate others, because if you're able to purify the karmas of body, speech, and mind, then you're able to maintain those precepts, right? And you can enjoy great peace, you can enjoy well-being, you'll hone spiritual focus if you're able to wholeheartedly maintain these precepts. And by maintaining and holding these precepts, then you can develop the 5 powers, right? The 5 powers in Buddhism, sometimes we chant it in the Amitabha Sutra, right? The 5 powers are of faith, diligence, mindfulness, concentration, and wisdom. All these powers are developed through maintaining these precepts. Don't think of these precepts as limitations or taken away from your freedom, right? They're not laws that we're going to hunt you down if you break a precept necessarily, right? These are your own guidelines to live by, right? So think of the example of if we were to go to prison, for instance, right, and survey all the inmates of the reason for their incarceration. Almost every single one is there because they violated 1 or 5 of the precepts, 1 or more of the 5 precepts, right? Murder, attempted murder, aggravated assault are violations against the precept of killing. Stealing, money laundering, kidnapping are all violations of the precepts of stealing. Rape, prostitution, sexual abuse, sex trafficking are all violations of the precept against sexual misconduct. Lying, defamation, breach of promise, spreading rumors even, all violations of the precept against lying. Drug addiction, drug trafficking, the misuse of drugs and alcohol are all violations of the precept against consuming intoxicants. So if we're able to observe these precepts, right, we can easily find ourselves breaking any of these precepts and ending up in jail with everyone else, right? But if you uphold and maintain these precepts and practice them correctly, wholeheartedly, then you'll always find yourself not in jail. I don't want to get a call one day like, hey, Master Quang Tree, I know it's like 3 a.m., but I kind of need to bail out. No, sorry, I'm not your bailout. If you're in jail, you're probably in jail for a reason, right? So, we have our normal country's laws and regulations, right? These are the external restraints that the government holds, right, to kind of control us, right? That others are controlling us. But the Buddhist precepts are something that we implement and put on ourselves willingly, right, for self-control. And if you're able to maintain that self-control, then it's so much easier to practice these precepts correctly, diligently, with full effort, right? And so when we read the precepts now, right, we recite them, or we chant them, or we study them, they're all separated, right? We have precepts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, but fundamentally there's only one precept, right? And since freedom is to be respected, do not violate others. That is the one fundamental precept, right? Since freedom is to be respected, do not violate others. If we're able to refrain from killing, is not violating the life of others. To refrain from stealing is not violating the property of others. To refrain from sexual misconduct, we're not violating the physical body of others. To refrain from lying, we're not violating the reputation of others. To refrain from consuming intoxicants, then we're able to help be healthy for ourselves and for others, right? So if you're able to uphold these precepts diligently, correctly, and keep them in mind, be mindful of these precepts with everything that you do, then you will naturally receive benefits and blessings without even having to ask for them, right? If you don't kill, but instead are generous, how can you not have longevity? If you don't steal, but are generous, then how can you not be wealthy? If you don't violate others, but instead are respectful to them, how can the family and your life not be harmonious? Right? If you're able to not lie, but instead are honest, then you'll always have good reputation. And if you don't become intoxicated, but instead look after the body, then how can you not have good health? So for the 5 precepts, it impacts you, it impacts the community, and it impacts the whole world if you're able to uphold them and maintain them diligently, right? You have diligent practice, you have capable practice. Just because you take the precepts doesn't make you a perfect Buddhist now, right? You're a Buddhist on paper. It means nothing. You're a Buddhist at heart if you truly hold to these precepts. You're a true Buddhist if you truly do things mindfully with everything that you do, right? We talk about mindfulness all the time. And mindfulness is important when we walk, even when we open the door, when we're eating, when we're driving. If we're able to drive with mindfulness, then we avoid creating accidents. We avoid throwing people off the road. We avoid people cutting us off, slowing us down, whatever it may be, right? And as you do these things, as you are being mindful, if you are mindful, then you can watch the thoughts as they come up, right? Because Buddhism is a mind-centered religion. Everything happens in our mind first, right? And I always say you have many opportunities to stop yourself from doing bad things. Because everything starts as a thought first. So if you're thinking good things, then you can say good things, and then you can do good things. But if you're thinking bad things, then you say bad things and you do bad things. And so you create unwholesome actions there. You create unwholesome karma. As a Sangha, we're all here to sow the seeds of good merit, right? Dharma is, we always hear the example of the field of merit, right? And this field of merit is all our good actions, all our bad actions that we do, say, and think of. So the more goodness you do, the more wholesome actions you create, the larger, the more flourished your Dharma field will be. And you're able to become a better person, become a better Buddhist, become a better husband, a better wife, a better son, a better father, mother, etc. So I hope that your self-promises today encourage you in many ways in life. This is, taking the precepts seems like a simple ritual to many, but it creates this deep connection with the Dharma and with the Sangha. Because as I mentioned, we're all here as brothers and sisters to help each other. And sometimes we can always, or all the time, we can always study and practice on our own, but eventually you will need the help of a Sangha. Eventually you will need that support. And so now you have that support. You have a good, solid foundation, I hope. And so I hope that this ceremony helps encourage you. It helps you to maintain diligent practice, capable practice, and to learn and grow and become fulfilled and accomplish your spiritual aspirations. So, I'm going to stop talking because I'm already over talking, but thank you.
Let me make a little bit comment about your name. First, I congratulate both you two to take the decision to take the precept and the 355 precept. About your name, your teacher and me, we sit down, we discuss about the name. The name is very important for us. Its aspiration, it has a meaning, not like a set of name, any name. For example, the name of Chi Man, Chi, from his name, Quang Chi, so from him, so you have a name, you know your master is a Chi, Quang Chi, Man is a diligence. Why is it? Because I see you a few times, but I have a feeling you are a very diligent person. You practice with seriousness. You practice because you love it. You're very diligent, okay? So your name has some meaning. In the Oriental way, the name always has meaning, a deep meaning, like aspiration. What your teacher or anybody think about you, your quality. So your quality is diligence, okay? Her name is Huệ Văn, Huệ in the temple. Our name the temple is Huệ Phước Huệ. Huệ, that means wisdom. Wisdom. She has wisdom and she is very capable. And another thing too, her name is the name of the 6 patriarchs of Zen tradition. And I have to tell about the 6 patriarchs. He comes from a poor family. He's uneducated. He's not good looking. He's a small guy. He go to the temple, the 5th patriarch. He listened to the chanting of the Diamond Sutra. Hear that if you have no attachment, you develop your mind. So he go in the temple. People ask him, what you come in for? He said, I want to become Buddha. And people think, oh, this guy, he's illiterate, and he's not good looking, he's arrogant. He said, no, the people young know that he will become Buddha. He's the real one. And he become a very famous patriarch, the 6th patriarch. So your name, by coincidence, your name is the name of the 6th patriarch of Zen tradition. And always the lady in this temple have a name, that means wisdom, have wisdom, okay? And sometimes it is a coincidence, like the elder Quang, his name is one of Buddha, his name. That's the feeling you have. Like my name, Phuoc, his name from Buddha too. My teacher, he feel it. And he give me the name. He named me the name like anybody. I don't know why, but he tell me, your name is Phuoc. It's Buddha's name I give to you. I appreciate it, I feel it. So when I see Quang, I say, your name is Quang. It's one of Buddha's name. It's like, for some reason, I have that feeling. This man, he will be a Buddha, okay? So his name is the same name of a Buddha, like my name, the name of Buddha. So your name is very precious to you, have a meaning. About the practice, like Master Quang said, it's quality time. You certificate, you should put a frame, put a small altar. So every day you have a precept, the 3 of you look at that, you think about that. And you remind yourself. It doesn't have to practice 1 hour, 2, 3 hours a day. I know you are in family, you have an obligation to do. So the quality time, 15 minutes, half an hour is enough, but quality time. If the place is respect, you segregate, put in something, the altar, and put a small statue of Buddha. Practice daily. It reminds you, it enhances your practice, and it makes your life very meaningful. After a little while you practice it, you see the benefit of practice. It's not, you grow, or develop it, and you become a better person. And in Buddhism, the merit is not for you. You get the merit, you transfer the merit to all the people because they're sharing. You accomplish something, you don't keep for yourself. You accomplish something, I want to share with all the people, make them as good as me or better than me. So we all benefit. You make society better, you make the world better by your practice. So I really congratulate both of you two become official member of Sangha. And you remember that when you become a Sangha, one temple, you Sangha to all the temple. You go everywhere. You go to France, or go to Asia, you have European there. You know that the people, they know you are authentic practitioner. You come in there, they love you, they respect you. You can go anywhere. You are brother, sister to them. You are the Sangha. It's not only on this temple. Every Sangha open the door to welcome you, to respect you, to love you. And you become one of them. That's amazing. It's a wonderful feeling. You belong to all the Sangha in the world. Okay? And you practice, we benefit everybody. You make society better. That's your merit. That's my last congratulations. So you know your name has a meaning, okay? A meaning. It's not that I discussed the Master Quang about different name. I tell him every time you have name, you have the feeling, like a direct transmission, transfer from teacher to student. Like you remember one story. One Buddha, he hold the flower, And Mahakasyapa just look the flower and they smiled. The direct transmission from the teacher Buddha to Mahakasyapa. So they have a tradition of meditation from that time. That's the first transfer from teacher to the student. That Buddha from Mahakasyapa just looked at the flower in his hand and he just smiled. He understands what his teacher means. That's all. Don't talk that much. Like for example, when Bodhidharma, the teacher, he came from India, he go to China, and the second patriarch, Phuoc, he come in, he said, teacher, tame my mind. So Bodhidharma just give me your mind, I tame you. So he understand right away. There's no mind to give. He have to do it himself. So he said, give me your mind. Because the other one asked, tame my mind. He said, give me your mind. They understand right away. They're direct transmission. So we understand that. It's the beauty of Buddhism. Okay? That's all I want to congratulate you to today.
And on your certificates, as the Venerable Teacher mentioned, to frame them if you're able to, because they do have the 3 jewels and the 5 precepts on the certificate. So if anything, every day, hopefully you have some time set aside to do a full service if you're able to. But if not, if anything, at least recite the 3 jewels and the 5 precepts every day, every morning and every evening when you go to bed. With that, I also printed out this for you. It's the Anusati. Anusati means recollections or reflection, remembrances. And I wanted to do this because when you're out and about, or when you're in a moment of anger or frustration, to recollect the 3 recollections of the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Or Anusati, Buddha Anusati, Dharma Anusati, Sangha Anusati, the 3 recollections. And so it's a good thing to memorize so that when you are in those difficult situations that you can recite the 3 Anusatis. Please, the 2 of you rise, bow 1 time and kneel. You can kneel down and recite the vow.
I vow to take across the numberless living beings. I vow to cut off the endless afflictions. I vow to study the countless Dharma doors. I vow to realize the Supreme Buddha way. I vow to take across living beings of my own nature. I vow to cut off the afflictions of my own nature. I vow to study the Dharma doors of my own nature. I vow to realize the Buddha way of my own nature.
And as a Sangha, we'll recite the transfer of merits. May all beings without limit, without end, have a share in the merit just now made, and in whatever other merits I have made. Those who are dear and kind to me begin with my mother and father, whom I have seen or never seen, and others neutral, hostile, please rise. The three refuges. I take refuge in the Buddha, the one who shows me the way in this life. I take refuge in the Dharma, the way of understanding and of love. I take refuge in the Sangha, the community that lives in harmony and awareness. Dwelling in the refuge of Buddha, I clearly see the path of light and beauty in the world. Dwelling in the refuge of Dharma, I learn to open many doors on the path of transformation. Dwelling in the refuge of Sangha, shining light that supports me, keeping my practice free of obstruction. Taking refuge in the Buddha, in myself, I aspire to help all people recognize own awakened nature, realizing the mind of love. Taking refuge in the Dharma, in myself, I aspire to help all people fully master the ways of practice and walk together on the path of liberation. Taking refuge in the Sangha, in myself, I aspire to help all people build fourfold communities to embrace all being and support their transformation. Sharing the merits. Reciting the sutras, practicing the way of awareness gives rise to benefits without limits. We vow to share the fruits with all beings. We vow to offer tribute to parents, teachers, friends, and numerous beings who give guidance and support along the path. Namo Shakyamuni Buddha. Again, congratulations to Chimang and Hui Nang. Everyone, please congratulate them, and then you two can come up and take your certificates.